Yeah. Irritating. Oh yeah, I have to go. You know, or like, so I'm not running. I don't poke up. I tell people.
No, you're both just sitting until here.
Yeah, actually, quite, because my, that's, really, that perception. Yeah. Help your phone, or, you know, if you want to do generative stuff going on, I write a lot. Wow, and you do it, so someone just could drive people. Okay.
Well, originally, I mean, the big story here, you're standing here, you know, who they're involved in. So there's, I don't, I can actually create a Microsoft account with Microsoft. And then by the end,
Wow.
question or whatever, there's kind of invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, apparently, if you give them the right information, get them here, they'll give us back. Yeah, I mean, with, your, that machine you inherited, yeah, there's some stuff.
I'm sorry, I don't, no, I'm not, I hear it stuff. Oh, okay.
Okay. What is that?
Like fancy. Well, oh, yeah, so I feel about there. So glad you were there. Show up. It's just like. It's like, this is a college one. But I'm really like, I think that's great for the my entire house is getting left with these. Who I have left these pictures, but because I never had writings in the house. And like, it's really possible to use writing when you love it. Yeah. The same thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny. I was telling this right. Yeah, it's interesting. You love so the wrong thing. Says like Australia. That's it. That's all it takes. Just like You remember that? And that's why it's so like lucky chat, right? Right, right. They all fight against. All said out loud. And everybody's the time. Yeah. She came up with it. Yeah, yeah, I mean, all of my best friends last year, all of them from my closest friends are all of them. And you realize, oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah, we used to. Yeah, I went for 5 years. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, anyway, in the summer, things get really wacky there, like, it's, everything sort of shifts, you know, different things happen.
Yeah. And then you open up. Here we go.
Okay.
I see young people. That's perfect. Yeah.
Right. Yellow and red, like the colors, right?
They're doing good.
You would know many days. Okay, big day, it's birthday.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, hi. Everybody here? Okay. I'm here, everybody. Who else is it? They're all there.
Maybe
Ready should be. But there's painting. You. Well, also, it's not.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our hermetically sealed shrine room. We have a 18th century technology of air conditioning attempting to do its thing in the back. But every time we go through these difficulties like this, I'm always a little bit humbled because we have this video of when Garwa Rinpoche returned to his monastery after 19 years in a prison camp. They did some empowerment, and it was in Tibet in the wintertime, and you saw all these Tibetans with no heating at all in this thing with big smiles on their faces. So I feel like a real wimp whenever it gets above 75 degrees and I'm bitching and moaning, you know. All right, so in the buff-colored prayer book, page 5. With all enemies who hate me, hinders who harm me, and those who obstruct my liberation and omniscience foremost, may all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness, be free of suffering, and quickly attain precious, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment. With all enemies who hate me, hinders who harm me, and those who obstruct my liberation and omniscience foremost, may all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness, be free of suffering, and quickly attain precious, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment. With all enemies who hate me, hinders who harm me, and those who obstruct my Adulthood. I apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue until death. I apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue from today until tomorrow, this time. All sentient beings equal to the ends of space take refuge in the nature of all the body, speech, minds, qualities, and activities of those thus gone 10 directions and 3 times. The wellspring 84,000 heaps of Dharma, the sovereign of all the noble Sanghas, the glorious and holy kind root and lineage gurus. We take refuge in the assembly of deities in the Yidam's Mandala. We take refuge in the Buddha Bhagavans. We take refuge in the holy Dharmas. We take refuge in the noble Sanghas. We take refuge in the assembly of Viras, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, and guardians with the wisdom eye. We take refuge in the glorious and holy kind root and lineage gurus. We take refuge in the assembly of deities in the Yidam's Mandala. We take refuge in the Buddha Bhagavans. We take refuge in the holy Dharmas. We take refuge in the noble Sanghas. We take refuge in the assembly of Viras, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, and with the wisdom eye. We take refuge in the glorious and holy kind root and lineage gurus. We take refuge in the assembly of deities in the Yidam's mandala. We take refuge in the Buddha Bhagavans. We take refuge in the holy dharmas. We take refuge in the noble sanghas. We take refuge in the assembly of Viras, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, and guardians with a wisdom eye. Till I reach the heart of awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha's hall. In the Dharma and assembly of Bodhisattvas too I take refuge. Just as all Sugatas of the past brought to birth the mind of awakening, and in each and every training of Bodhisattvas step by step did dwell. Just so for the benefit of beings I too bring to birth awakened mind. And in each and every training thus, step by step, I'll train myself like so. Till I reach the heart of awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha's hall. In the Dharma and assembly of Bodhisattvas too I take refuge. Just as all Sugatas of the past brought to birth the mind of awakening. And in each and every training of Bodhisattvas step by step did dwell. Just so for the benefit of beings I too bring to birth awakened mind. And in each and every training thus, step by step, I'll train myself like so. Till I reach the heart of awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha's hall. In the Dharma and assembly of Bodhisattvas too I take refuge. Just as all Sugatas of the past brought to birth the mind of awakening. And in each and every training of Bodhisattvas step by step did dwell. Just so for the benefit of beings I too bring to birth awakened mind. And in each and every training thus, step by step, I'll train myself like so. In the Buddha, Dharma, and assembly excellent, I take refuge till I come to full awakening. By the merit of my deeds like generosity, may I achieve Buddhahood for beings' benefit. In the Buddha, Dharma, and assembly excellent, I take refuge till I come to full awakening. By the merit of my deeds like generosity, may I achieve Buddhahood for beings' benefit. In the Buddha, Dharma, and assembly excellent, I take refuge till I come to full awakening. By the merit of my deeds like generosity, may I achieve Buddhahood for beings' benefit. May all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness free of suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion to near and far. May all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness free of suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion to near and far. May all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness free of suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion to near and far. By prostrating, offering, and confessing thus, by rejoicing, urging, supplicating too, any little virtue that I have amassed, all I dedicate for full awakening. This ground daubed with fragrant water, with flowers strewn, is adorned by Meru four lands, by sun and moon. Seeing this to be a Buddha field, I offer it. May all beings experience this utterly pure land. Om Guru Rana Mandala Pudza Mega Samudra Taparana Samaye Ahom. And now the little blue book, the Bodhisattva practices together. Homage to Lokeshvara. I pay constant homage through my three doors to my supreme teacher and protector, Chenrezig, who, while seeing all phenomena like coming and going, makes single-minded effort for the good of living beings. Perfect Buddha is source of all well-being and happiness, arise from accomplishing the excellent teachings. And this depends on knowing the practices. So I will explain the practices of bodhisattvas. Having gained this rare ship of freedom and fortune, here think and meditate unwaveringly night and day, in order to free yourself and others from the oceans of existence. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Attached to your loved ones, you're stirred up like water. Hating your enemies, you burn like fire. In the darkness of confusion, you forget what to adopt and discard. Give up your homeland. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. By avoiding bad objects, disturbing emotions gradually decrease. Without distraction, virtuous activities naturally increase. With clarity of mind, conviction in the teachings arises. Cultivate seclusion. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Loved ones who have long kept company will part. Wealth created with difficulty will be left behind. Consciousness, the guest, will leave the guest house of the body. Let go of this life. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When you keep their company, your three poisons increase. Your activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating decline, and they make you lose your love and compassion. Give up bad friends. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When you rely on them, your faults come to an end, and your good qualities grow like the waxing moon. Cherish spiritual teachers even more than your own body. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Bound himself in the jail of cyclic existence, what worldly God can give you protection? Therefore, when you seek refuge, take refuge in the three jewels which will not betray you. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. The subduer said, all the unbearable suffering of bad rebirth is the fruit of wrongdoing. Therefore, even at the cost of your own life, never do wrong. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Like dew on the tip of a blade of grass, pleasures of the three worlds last only a while and then vanish. Aspire to the never-changing supreme state of liberation. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When your mothers who have loved you since time without beginning are suffering, what use is your own happiness? Therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the altruistic intention. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. All suffering comes from the wish for your own happiness. Perfect Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Even if someone, out of strong desire, steals all your wealth or has it stolen, dedicate to him your body, possessions, and all your virtue, past, present, and future. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Even if someone tries to cut off your head when you haven't done the slightest thing wrong, out of compassion, take all his misdeeds upon yourself. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Even if someone broadcasts all kinds of unpleasant remarks about you throughout the 3,000 worlds, in return with a loving mind speak of his good qualities. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Though someone may deride and speak bad words about you in a public gathering, looking on him as a spiritual teacher, bow to him with respect. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Even if a person for whom you've cared like your own child regards you as an enemy, cherish him especially like a mother does her child who is stricken with sickness. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. If an equal or inferior person disparages you out of pride, place him as you would your spiritual teacher with respect on the crown of your head. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Though you lack what you need and are constantly disparaged, afflicted by dangerous sickness and spirits, without discouragement take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Though you become famous and many bow to you, and you gain riches to equal Vaishravanas, see that worldly fortune is without essence and be unconceited. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. While the enemy of your own anger is unsubdued, though you conquer external foes, they will only increase. Therefore, with the militia of love and compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you indulge, the more thirst increases. Abandon at once those things which breed clinging attachment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Whatever appears is your own mind. Your mind from the start was free from fabricated extremes. Understanding this, do not take to mind inherent signs of subject and object. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When you encounter attractive objects, though they seem beautiful like a rainbow in summer, don't regard them as real and give up attachment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. All forms of suffering are like a child's death in a dream. Holding illusory appearances to be true makes you weary. Therefore, when you meet with disagreeable circumstances, see them as illusory. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Those who want enlightenment must give even their body. There's no need to mention external things. Therefore, without hope or return any fruition, give generously. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Without ethics, you can't accomplish your own well-being. So wanting to accomplish others is laughable. Therefore, without worldly aspiration, safeguard your ethical discipline. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. To bodhisattvas who want wealth of virtue, those who harm are like a precious treasure. Therefore, towards all, cultivate patience without hostility. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Seeing even hearers and solitary realizers who accomplish only their own good strive as if to put out a fire on their head. For the sake of all beings, make enthusiastic effort, the source of all good qualities. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Understanding that disturbing emotions are destroyed by special insight with calm abiding. Cultivate concentration which surpasses the four formless absorptions. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Since the five perfections without wisdom cannot bring perfect enlightenment, along with skillful means, cultivate the wisdom which does not conceive three spheres as real. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. If you don't examine your own errors, you may look like a practitioner but not act as one. Therefore, always examining your own errors, rid yourself of them. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. If through the influence of disturbing emotions you point out the faults of another bodhisattva, you yourself are diminished. So don't mention the faults of those who have entered the great vehicle. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Reward and respect cause us to quarrel and make hearing, thinking, and meditation decline. For this reason, give up attachment to the households of friends, relations, and benefactors. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Harsh words disturb the minds of others and cause deterioration in a bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, give up harsh words which are unpleasant to others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Habitual disturbing emotions are hard to stop through counteractions. Armed with antidotes, the guards of mindfulness and mental alertness destroy disturbing emotions at once, as soon as they arise. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. In brief, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, what's the state of my mind? With constant mindfulness and mental alertness, accomplish others' good. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. To remove the suffering of limitless beings, understanding the purity of the three spheres. Dedicate the virtue for making such effort to enlightenment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. For all who want to train on the bodhisattva path, I have written the 37 practices of bodhisattvas, following what has been said by the excellent ones on the meaning of the sutras, tantras, and treatises. Though not poetically pleasing to scholars, owing to my poor intelligence and lack of learning, I've relied on the sutras and the words of the excellent, so I think these bodhisattva practices are without error. However, as the great deeds of bodhisattvas are hard to fathom for one of my poor intelligence, I beg the excellent to forgive all faults such as contradictions and non sequiturs. To the virtue from this, may all living beings gain the ultimate and conventional altruistic intention, and thereby become like the protector Chenrezig, who dwells in neither extreme, not in the world nor in peace. Again, anyone who doesn't have one of these little blue books, please feel free to take one as White Lotus's gift to you. Composed by a Tibetan monk, and I think in the 1300s, 1200s. Gaura Rinpoche has said that the entire Buddhist path can be found in this book, reading the outer meaning, the inner meaning, the secret meaning, the innermost secret meaning. It's extremely profound, and he's done lengthy commentaries on it. We've had Khenpo doing commentaries on it. So please feel free to take it. It's a great benefit. And today we're going to be, recognizing His Holiness Dalai Lama's 90th birthday. It's entirely appropriate that we, not only appropriate that we do this, but his example is really, his Dharma itself is extremely rare in this world. You just haven't seen any terrorism coming out of his people, and that's greatly because of the Dharma and his incredible leadership. And of course, he's a spiritual figure as well. It's this just remarkable combination, you might say. One spirit, both benefit in this worldly world, but also benefits beyond. So when we take the refuge prayer this morning, we take refuge in the Buddha Bhagavans. Khenpo spent, I think, 3 days teaching on that one word. What is a Bhagavan? All of us, we have actually a sincere aspiration, which is the key to it all. But nonetheless, if you're like me, these teachings are just, kind of humbling. I mean, Gretchen and I practiced Western Buddhism for some 17 years, something like that. And I can't speak for her, but for myself, when we came across Tibetan teachings, it was none of the stuff that I knew. Why is this significant? Because it's said to be 2 ways. Buddhism is all about realization. And in that, it encompasses everything. So whatever virtue is done in the world is positive. But the great benefit here is that we have these teachings. We had one member who was a Roman Catholic woman who later on moved to New Orleans, and she said, "I'm Roman Catholic, and I have faith in the Pope, and I'm completely devoted to Jesus." But she says, "I'm a member of this place because Buddhists seem to teach how." I mean, when the Pope says love, Jesus said, "Love your enemy as yourself." How do you do that? And the Buddhists teach you how to do that. So we're extremely fortunate. This is why we brought Khenpo here, so we can have 3 days teaching on one word in all of this. These 84,000 different teachings. It's said to be only 2 ways of coming to Buddhahood, coming to full enlightenment. One is Guru Yoga, the blending of your mind with your true mind through the manifestation, you might say, of your true mind as the Lama. And the other way is the accumulation of merit and wisdom, compassion and wisdom. And that's what we're doing in all these practices. Nagarjuna, this great Indian, said that, yes, he taught on 2 truths. There's a conventional truth, which is accessible to all of us, and the absolute truth. But he said of the 2, conventional truth is more important because it's by means of the conventional that you come to the absolute. Instead of the absolute being this inaccessible thing just out there, I'm just a worm, I can never get there. Instead, by practicing the teachings, we are immediately in tune with our own Buddha nature, even if it seems like we're acting. So that's what His Holiness Dalai Lama is. He presents all the teachings, and he is the kind of Lama that you can come to enlightenment by practicing devotion to him. This is something that is not, I think, was in the West a long time ago. We've lost it, and for all of us, it's kind of an upward slog because the culture. I joke, for instance, like with the yoga. I saw some years ago now there was some yoga group in Los Angeles that was attracting actors and actresses. They were promoting naked fight yoga. And I think this is the danger of what a worldly culture can do, just to a profound teaching. So, forgive all my words this morning, but I wanted to put some of my own kind of words on why we're recognizing the Dalai Lama. I don't have to tell any of you any of this. You all know from your own heart why you're here and why the Dalai Lama is important to you and to this world. But what can you do? I got a big mouth. So Khenpo, please.
What can we please follow? I think so good enough about what you speak. I have no idea much to talk about that. But many of you know that His Holiness Dalai Lama, right? Everybody knows. Tibet people believe, and all the lamas, high lamas, recognize His Holiness as a reincarnation of the Chenamse, not really manifestation. So I think it's a little different. Definitely reincarnation of the Avalokiteshvara, the Tibet people believe. So therefore, in general, Chenamse is a God form, and not human form. But right now, Chenamse come, they took human form, the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Dalai Lama. So therefore, aspect is like human form, but essence is Avalokiteshvara, his consciousness. We believe the consciousness and the mind, the same meaning in the Buddhism. You understand? Huh? So therefore, so this critical time, like 10, 16, 70 years back, was very difficult situation inside Tibet because of China. They don't believe in religions. So therefore, just not only for invaded, not only for occupied, just destroy it for everything at the same time. That's, I think so everybody knows. So therefore, His Holiness cannot stay in the Tibet, and then he left. Right? Escaped from Tibet to India, take refuge.
1959.
So this is one thing. If like such like His Holiness Dalai Lama wasn't born in that moment, I would say now in this world, the Tibet people already disappeared. And most Buddhism, the Tibet Buddhism, the both Sutra and Tantra, right now I don't think stay alive or survive. So therefore, today we need to think and we need to remember His grateful and kind to us and all of the follower of the Buddhism and Buddhists. This is one thing. You understand what?
Yeah, clear.
So therefore, today, 90 years old birthday. And he's very, very helpful, grateful, and kind, the end of the world in general. And particularly for Tibet people and Tibet language, Tibet culture. He just holding. The Dharma means hold, right? Similar, His Holiness hold and push the Tibet people to hold the same thing as he does. So therefore, really, really, how to say, just kind of inconceivable things. And if I explain his kind, I'm not really enough speech. This is just ineffable, right?
Ineffable.
Right. So therefore, one thing is something like that. So second thing, he always concerned all these universes situation, not only for Tibet people, not priority for Tibet people. The universe, you know, I'm not going to explain about that. You just try to read his books and listen to his, what is it called, his speaking, his statements, and the documents, whatever for politically or dynamically, whatever you found out. And you will understand which kind of person in this world. Right? So, his several commitments to do this world during of his lifetime. So, first one, I just explain a little bit to these, not need everything, but number one, he taking responsibility that all the human beings, solidarity, harmony, and harmoniously, and what need to do, improve the compassion and love each other. Because his holiness sees the loving kindness and compassion just naturally all beings have. This is not religious matter. Nobody created this one. As no human being remains, and naturally everybody has, each person or each being has compassion or loving kindness naturally. So therefore he believed, he sees, he had experienced the loving kindness and compassion through the practice improve. So if we're really good enough, loving kindness and compassion, and this world, the complex things, and the wars, fightings, everything will be going to reduce and peaceful world. So he believed that. So therefore, 20 years or 30 years ago, he started to write down for books, many books, and his topic is called the secular ethics. Explain what secular ethics means. Yeah. Secular ethics means no related with any religion. You understand, Bala?
Yeah, no.
Not Buddhism, not Christianity, not Hinduism, and not any Punjabi something religion. See?
Punjabi.
So you think you have experience. Where you born, what is your mind? You have only two thoughts, good thoughts and bad thoughts. This is naturally. So there is holiness always mention and emphasize whatever you have thought, good things are positive, you try to improve day-to-day life. This is not religious matter. Right? So therefore, he just tried already writing down. I have heard in Mexico, so they already practice all the schools. The government got approved to teach everywhere, all the schools and colleges right now. I think so India 20 years ago already. I know some other country, but I didn't really pay much attention where right now start to study or something. But many important things he wrote the secular ethics, many different books. Without how to say a topic of the Buddhism or Christianity is not related with the Buddhism word and Buddhism vocabularies or terms. Just natural humanity. Humanity and mentality is very much related. So basic humanity is compassion and loving kindness. We need to improve that things. So then how to improve and everything clear that his books. If you want to read, you can get that. I think so maybe online and then now it's technology time. Right? Each person has computer, laptop, iPad, and iPhone. So over there, everything. Just there. So therefore, this is the number one. And number two is religious harmony. Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Muslim, whatever. Because all the His Holiness always mention all the gods or Buddhas or whatever, same message for people. You know, message of the loving kindness, message of the compassion, message of the humanity to improve. That real meant. So we need to take care of each other. Because we are human beings, not animals. That means not criticize animal. Because we know how to live perfectly, nicely, and peacefully. So therefore, we already understand. So therefore, we only need to take into the action each other. Everybody very good for each other talking nice. Everybody compromise each other very nice. Like 2-3 minutes, they make each other very happy. But right after sometimes they showing their color. So that is not even religious person or people. So therefore, what do we need to do? Everybody want to be happiness. Nobody want to get in the suffer. Right? So therefore, if human beings each other, only 2-3 things we need. Right? Number one, understanding each other. Regardless your relatives or your friend, your friend or your family member, whatever, whoever you meet, you need to respect for any other beings, human beings. So that means you become a very good person. And you take the responsibility, this universe's situation, and think of other well-beings. So therefore, understanding is important. A second thing, the mutual respect. Everybody same value. We all have Buddha nature. So all the Buddha natures like inside the inside or end. And inside for our mind, it's the same Buddha nature. So therefore, we need to take care of each other respectfully. Of course, if we can do symbiosis, right, that's perfect. If we cannot do anything like, how to say, materialist, like things you give lots of money for other people. If you cannot do it, that's okay, but don't harm. And respect for them. And listen to reality situation. Don't show attitude immediately. There's nothing happen. Right? That's very important. So we don't need to think all this, how to say, word. We need to do is daily life. Who is with you come every day? Your parents, your husband, your relatives. We need to practice with them. Those people can be the object of the practice. You don't need to think Washington DC people in California what they do. We no need to relate that to it. So whoever with us today, we need to do today. So that is our responsibility. And everybody does like that locally. I mentioned many times in the White Lotus, think globally, act locally. That's really Bodhisattva's way. But we think globally, probably many people do morning chant, like when they're going to pray. Like prayer is already naturally, the prayer lead your mind, right? But I don't know, act locally what they do, what we do. This is a little bit constant and wandering things. Many people, I believe, do locally good and globally is good. That's really good. So these two things, two of them, His Holiness the commandments, right? Commandments. His promise, His tamcha, yeah, commandments. Commandments. Two things important. This is just for universal. And two things, especially for Tibet people, they like protect for Tibet culture, preservation for Tibet language and Tibet Buddhism. And he just dialogue or try to negotiation with China for get more freedom. So one thing, Maggie knows very well Tibet complex, actually. So this Tibet complex and political system is not only for political complex, really. If Tibet get free, what Tibet do, like democracy, communism, and socialism, what in practice in Tibet, not that issues. Okay, not only that issues. And second thing is not complex for ethics. Like Chinese people and Tibetan people cannot live together, not that issues. Okay, but mainly issue is truth and not truth. This is one thing. A second thing, man, real purpose is for preservation of the Tibet Buddhism. And by the way, Tibet language. Because Tibet language and Tibet Buddhism need for everybody who especially follow Buddhism, even some really study, not need to become the Buddhist, but some Buddhist philosophy and benefit things, and they very much need Tibet language. So therefore, only Buddha Dharma right now in the around world, complete and without mistaken, in only Tibet language. That's for sure. So therefore, both Sutra and Tantra. So therefore, His Holiness worry about this precious Buddha Dharma, many and uncountable people's kind of soul and source of happiness, this life and next life. That really precious Dharma could be disappeared if Chinese government, how to say, dominated for everything. Right? They try to, inside Tibet, very dangerous right now. Very dangerous. Right? I'm not really talking about that things, but this is not political issues, but it's just reality explained. See, 2 days ago, His Holiness announced about his reincarnation. His reincarnation come this earth continuously because of his followers' request to come again and again for taking care of these human beings. And then he accepted and announced 2 days ago, probably several hours later, the Chinese government already announced. The Chinese government has authority to recognize the Panchen Lama and the Dalai Lama. Principle we have. Nobody can recognize the Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama. And moreover, he did say, we get already the Panchen Lama, but they didn't say we put in the present. They did already the Panchen Lama when he was 6. Already right now, he just stay in the present meditation. Nobody knows he is still alive or not. The Chinese government didn't say anything good and bad. Just kind of already died 36 years ago already. Seems like, looks like, sounds like. Never talk about that. So therefore, just several hours later, announcement of His Holiness done, and the Chinese government already announced. And then 2 days ago, Indian government responded nicely. Really, I'm so happy to have that. Okay, these things just leave it. Okay. So therefore, we just today mainly what I'm saying here. For therefore, we need to remember His Holiness is kind to us, right? For this precious Dharma and peaceful world. Therefore, he got everybody. Most of you know Nobel Peace Prize, right? Peace Prize, and the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal, right? And the total he has so far 1,200 something honors. He got. Yeah, this is not only for Dalai Lama very handsome, not because of Dalai Lama very tall, really. But he was handsome, but this no need this not case. Because of his really kind knowledge, wisdom, so helpful in the world. Right? There are many countries so far in the Indian government so kind for Tibet people. And the US government and people so kind to Tibet people. These two countries very, very special for Tibet people and Tibet government in exile. So these powerful two countries put together for the care of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Therefore, China is so far quiet. Otherwise, Chinese government, I think so maybe already, you know, could be. Yeah, really. They try to many times in India, but India security for secret security is very smart. Somebody is almost near the Dalai Lama, they arrest and send back to China. Many things happen. Somebody put here the pretty teeth, the thumb. You just check the physical, you don't know anything. They put here. Once almost there. It is near the Hollandese. Indian, this what is called security guard. They just found out immediately. And then this is just wait for you. And they investigate, send back to China. Several times, many times. Okay, this is just by the way. So all those honors, his wisdom, his kind, and consent around the world and university. And there are many things good done these universities. So therefore, many different countries respect him, believe him, and his teachings very much helps many of the people, numberless people, uncountable people around the world. Right? So therefore, we need to think and remember his kind in his spread form, and keep his suggestions or advice for better human beings, to be the better human beings. That's very helpful. So I just mentioned that before, secular ethics book, very important. You are a believer or not believer, doesn't matter. You need that book. Because why? You want to be happy, right? You don't want to get in the suffering, right? So that's why you read that book. That's very helpful. You don't need to be a religious person, people. You're just human being. Right? Everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to with a miserable life, right? So happiness and miserable, they both come from cause and conditions. That's for sure. Whether you say I don't believe karma, it doesn't matter. That's not case. If we say we don't believe anything, then we have a very happy life. We can say I don't believe suffering. Right? If everything according to our belief, it's very easy. So not that case. So therefore, everybody really, every day since morning when they get up, try to get better life. I mean, today I'm really hope happy day. Therefore, everybody say, when they say, hi, how are you? Every single moment we need to ask, right? Check each other. Oh, how is it? Oh, good. Wow, so many things, right? So, but if we really need to be more smart, how we take care ourselves for daily life. So be smart and do right, tell truth, that those three things cause of the happiness. This is naturally, this is not Buddhism. This is not Christianity, right? I'm just used to telling people, be honest with your mind and tell the truth with your speech and do right with your body. These three things cause of happiness and cause of the better person and cause of the becoming world peace. Everybody takes care of these three things, each other or themselves. Definitely show this world no need to put there so many militaries and policies. If you do everybody like this, there's no robber, there's no thief, there's no terrorism, right? So why this world so many troubles, conflicts, wars? Because everybody not be honest and not telling the truth and not doing the right. Therefore, all problems come. Being honest and telling truth and doing right, there's no need to competition, no need to wrong kindness. Just take care of yourself. Do that. Because this is very much related to your happiness and their happiness. If they're really happy, naturally we are very happy. Right? Huh? Okay. Yeah, something like that, not too much. I think so. This is just conversation for to understand more about his holiness. Okay. Thank you today here. Why not just perfect for cakes and some master's film is perfect there for many nights or snacks, whatever you want. Enjoying birthday day. And recently just our country independent days. Everybody stay happy. And somebody talking about fireworks yesterday. I feel very enjoying, but a little bit burning the hand. That's okay. No problem. Okay. Any question? Now just 5 minutes over.
I want
Or you want to, or maybe you want to say something?
just one little comment from me.
He knows a lot, really, both of Tibet and America. Of course, he is American physically, but mentally, I think so, maybe Tibet. Really, I would say. Knowledge for history, for language, of course, everything. So now also special, her husband, Tibet, daily life with him. So now, yeah, physically American and mentally Tibetan, emotionally both, I think so.
But to also emphasize the importance of what we're all doing here at White Lotus. You know, this teaching on the six perfections, right? The Bodhisattva path. The first one is giving. And what are the levels of giving? Well, the basic one is giving materially for want. And you think of His Holiness Dalai Lama, what he's done for the Tibetan people. I mean, through his inspiration of the Indians, and the Indians providing so much. In the old days, the Lamas that first came were used to eating U.S. agriculture surplus food, you know, Velveeta that was sent over as surplus food to feed Tibetans in their camps. But the second level of giving is the protection from fear. And His Holiness is inspiration to people in Tibet, because there's this international status there's been protection from fear, and certainly for the Tibetan people having this kind of hope for the future. But the highest giving is the giving of Dharma. And, you know, as one person said, when China tried to destroy Tibet, it was like they took a big hammer down, but it was a little ball of mercury. What they didn't see is that little balls of mercury would go all around the world. So even in our seemingly humble effort here, we're doing something extremely valuable, which is the giving of the Dharma, because it is the path which takes beyond you all of this stuff, all the good stuff on the way, but ultimately too. So it's just extremely important what we've done, what we're doing, and the sacrifices are, you know, all just of merit. There's really no cost. So, okay, anybody else? Before we take a tea break, we got a roaming microphone too for anyone who wants.
Okay. So as far as coming back in reincarnation for the Dalai Lama, because he's at that high level of, you know, awakening and awareness, can he consciously choose where he will reincarnate and then give clues? I don't really know how that works or when that happens, because now that he's getting older, there's that thought eventually that that will happen. And what is usually the process? Is that Dalai Lama giving clues where they would reincarnate, or how does that typically work?
You're right, me, I don't know very well. So we are ordinary people, we don't have perception, cannot have, but according to Buddhism, and he's mentioned recently, he will choose the free nations. That could be India, could be in the US, because I think some of his colonies sees that India and America most important country in the world. So therefore, he could be take rebirth here or there or any other country. I mean, out of China, definitely, for sure. Right now, not in Tibet, because Tibet under the China right now, this moment, they just dominating right now. So therefore, his holiness mentioned, I will take rebirth for the nation. That's I heard yesterday. Also, according to the Avalokiteshvara, and then they are transcendent person, already liberated, transcended nobles, bodhisattvas. So they can take the rebirth intentionally, location and form, freely and independently. So therefore, right now we can note that this is really, how to say, unpredictable things for us. But he will take definitely India, I guess, and in the US, either one. This is according for Buddhism, according to his message. All my later knowledge from Buddhism. Okay. Megan.
I just wanted to add that anyone who's interested, that if you haven't seen the movie Kundun, Kundun, the first part of the movie shows the process of finding and recognizing the current Dalai Lama. So it's, you know, it's a kind of, I mean, it's, you know, it's a Hollywood movie, but there's also a couple wonderful documentaries about various reincarnated lamas who that also walk you through the process, and those are like documentaries, not reenactments, you know. So that's a maybe a kind of pleasurable way to learn about this.
Golden vase processing?
Well, the golden vase, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Chinese mentioned yesterday, we do this way,
Right.
Yeah.
but he's only say already awarded for Tibet, the reincarnation system. they say like this. They explain it.
Right. So the Golden Vase was this agreement that goes back to the Manchu colonization of Tibet during the Manchu Empire. And so now the Chinese communists claim that because Tibet had this agreement with the Manchus, they should also have this agreement with the communist state, that the communist state should, of China should be able to choose the Dalai Lama and other high lamas by pulling names out of a golden vase. But, it's kind of ridiculous to have an atheist state, that, is supposedly anti-imperialist, trying to recreate the Manchu Empire.
Right. Also on the selection of the Dalai Lama, Sir Charles Bell was the British ambassador to Tibet. And it goes through the process how they chose the previous Dalai Lama. So it's very interesting stuff to read. He's the 14th Dalai Lama. This was the selection of the 13th Dalai Lama, and also the signs of how to look for, and the things. And this happens with other high lamas too. For instance, Garbage at his birth, there were all sorts of crows all of a sudden showed up. In a place where crows don't be, and crows are the messengers of generating the Bodhisattva compassion, Buddha compassion. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. I'll try to find the title, but if you Google Sir Charles Bell, his book will come up. I think it's just called The Dalai Lama. I'm not sure, but it's about the previous one. He has some beautiful, beautiful stories in there. Old Tibet, for instance, one called The Parliament of the Birds, which I've read here sometimes. How the Tibetans, the Dalai Lamas they would send a group of high officials to make offerings to the birds at a certain place. Just all these beautiful, beautiful things.
Recently, one book published, the book's name, Voice for Voiceless. So very, very interesting book. I'm reading that in English.
You're saying that book is by His Holiness?
Yes.
The Dalai Lama.
Right.
Yeah, new book by the Dalai Lama.
Voice
for
for
the voiceless.
You got it? Some?
Yeah, I give it to Charlie for his birthday.
Wow, that's Charlie, you read it? Charlie is not an easy person. What doesn't matter? It takes years, there's no problem. You need to understand than me. Very good. Huh? Charlie is not easy. I mentioned already the man, right? It's not easy man. Maybe Jerry knows. I remember many years ago, and we talking about not easy person. They wanted Tibetan man, but here many people confused. That means I'm saying you are not easy. That means very compromised. There's nobody compare with you. That meant you are not easy person.
Very impressive.
Huh?
Yeah, if you say someone's not easy, what you're saying is they're very impressive.
Exactly.
Impressive. They're nuanced. They have all sorts of big personality. So you gotta watch your words.
That's right. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoying tea and snacks, whatever, right? And come back, please.
Yes.
And enjoying cake later.
Right. Right.
And be happy.
Be happy.
Yourself. Thank you.
I'm trying to find windows that can be opened.
I think this one can be open. This one's usually open.
I mean, most of them have the plexiglass still on.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be any worse having this done. Open.
As long as the air conditioner's not on, it can be fine. Yeah, yeah, that's
It's not. Pink looks good. Pink looks good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty big, but you know, there are a lot of people here, so. There's a lot of people here.
I thought we were gonna have that.
I thought we were too. He said he wanted it by this point, but I. Not big.
I didn't bring up your hand.
Yeah, probably after we do long life prayers or something. That's fine. That's fine. Is that big? We turn this down? Is that big? Oh, I guess it is.
that's their street cred stuff. Yeah. If you go in it, like, I'm doing it when I was 18, maybe, or so. I know that a lot of people say they're not from New York unless they went to high school there, or if they've never had a green metro card. It's yeah, that you get 3 free rides and 2 free transfers, and you're like, well, I have green metro cards. I'm a New Yorker. I'm like, fine. I'm not a New Yorker, but I did go to the community college. My community college, the only college in the entire United States that was just free. That's what got me through my first year. Yeah. It's really hard to acclimate Spanish. That's why I was like, yeah, because they don't see the sun, but the root's there, and then it grows, but you eat the thing that's in the soil, but like, yeah, it's just, really bad, like, what you do. Okay, it's black, and you eat what that's black, it's like, yeah, so God likes to make jokes. Like, I really like to say that on people, and it's like, okay, we're gonna have this conversation. The Dominican Republic was the first country that was colonized by Americans. So I try to remember, like, the she likes her haircut and skin. Well, her hair is also just been slower to grow, but she's catching up. She's looking awesome. And she was born bald. And she's 4, and now she has a full head of hair. Like, the first year and a half, I was like, we're gonna put salt for egg on your scalp. We're gonna love you very much. She's just this chunky, her name's Luna, and she's like this really beautiful round face, and she's just like people think she's my daughter, like Ozzy's daughter. So I'm like, you don't even want to do this stuff. I'm just like, this is my kid. She's not so bad. But her hair's finally fully. Obviously, that's like, they're my kids. Yeah. Like, I love astrology, and every year I do their astrology again, and I'm like, oh, they were meant to be my god kids. No, it was a waking vision. I mean, it's very well.
meditation, the long life play. No. Stephen give already the prayer book, regular prayer book. Yeah, regular prayer book. Yeah, you are very smart person, but you know that. Yeah, I believe Rogo very smart person. Several times in Tibet and several times in English. Let me switch again and again. Right, that's I think so more perfect. Okay, now we are going to recite for several times or more than for His Holiness Dalai Lama's long life practice, long life practice. He said for his play, Tibet and English suit one Tibet and then again English, and there's I think so very beautiful. You know, two different languages. So which one is more sounds like gentle and melody, and then we can go in that. That's to use. It's good, huh?
Page 29.
Page 29.
Buff color book. In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, powerful Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of cyclic existence. In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, powerful Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of cyclic existence. In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, powerful Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of cyclic existence.
We have done.
We did 3 times each.
Now 3 times continues Tibet, and then 3 times English continues. Okay.
In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, so powerful, raising, may you remain steadfast in existence. In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, so powerful, raising, may you remain steadfast until the end of cyclic existence. In this pure realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, powerful, raising, may you remain steadfast until the end of cyclic existence. In this.
Okay, so now we recite some money mantra. Money mantra is a Chinese mantra and chanting that is on this. So you can start off.
Page 32.
Recite.
Okay.
You are really good for melody.
I think
Money mantra. Longer.
Longer.
Never shorter and shorter and faster or something like that.
I'm not sure which one you mean.
Expert is the student actually.
Yeah, so true.
And then also I think so maybe whatever just just not necessary.
Yeah, that's so true, that's good.
Yeah,
All right, so
everybody knows money, right?
yes, if you don't know it, it's on page 38 of Avalokiteshvara's mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, and they have in parentheses 3, but we're not doing the 3, just the Om Mani Padme Hum.
Oh, 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 Okay, thank you very much, everybody. One thing remember, next week, um, energy grand tension, which is coming by notice, that's all. So we will, work together, okay? And now, Yamal, you are right, cake. Remember, cake is beautiful cake and blessing cake. So, bring cake to the here, 16 minutes. One thing, here some political fire and post the kitchen portions. So
Flyers.
just if someone can be able to hang up some last friend and something, or college, wherever they, please bring and hang up there. Where, most of local people, right?
Yeah, in the restaurants.
So and share with your friends.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And also, Ken's books, two of his books are out on the table for purchase too. So look at those.
Okay, just over here.
Yeah.
I suppose can just be
Yeah.
something.
I didn't say too for what those. I mean, Khenpo, it was type Ken means to know. Oh, I think correct me, Sanskrit scholar, scholar, one who knows. So it usually translated as abbot.
That's not even correct, actually.
Yeah, not correct in the translation, but that's what they were attempting to do. In other words, this is a position of authority who knows the scriptural transmission. The Khenpos were the ones that taught the reincarnated lamas. So Kenshin means great, great, anything. So highest kind of Khenpo recognized. And it's very auspicious because Kenshin coming was the first Lama to come to Rochester in 1985. He's been here several times since, but him coming now, to me, it seems like the closest. I mean, he's 80 years old. So this is very, very.
So he was a teacher to Khenpo Molam and to Sotam Masang when he was in college at Ingerdo.
Yeah.
Two of them were students together and pension for teacher, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we have been introduced later.
Later, yeah.
Yeah, when you come, I will introduce. Maybe I get a little bit so you are going to introduce.
Those special visit what I'm trying to communicate.
Real, if you want really to listen from real teacher, he is real teacher. I would say that's all. Imagine people, there are so many market banks. You just check market banks. Good English. So it's not really my experience, but that's most important. Right. So the teacher is not only for these kids.
Couple uses these good English words. And most of
monkey. I think so maybe MOUNTAEANK. Pretty much.
It's like pretender or charlatan.
So you just think there's no matter the spelling and how it's pronunciation or that, but you need to know real monkey is.
Yeah.
Also, they think to scientific, physical matter.
Yeah.
You need to know. Yeah. So he is real teacher, I would say. You want to get really real teacher. So I will explain later to you later. Okay. So then you have some good else.
Did you want to announce the survival?
You do.
Okay, so he's arriving on Wednesday. I think it's American 6:60 at 2:32 in the afternoon. So if you want to come to the airport to greet him, you can do that. Bring a kata, a weight offering scarf if you have one, but it's not absolutely necessary. And then there will be a little greeting ceremony at the place where he's staying after that, and people are welcome to come. Is that correct? Right. Yeah, so you can follow us there for a short greeting. Andrea, she's not here today. She's getting ready to go to Europe, but she's loaning us her house for Genshin's visit. So anyway, have a good week. I don't know. I think
they can't in the beach.
Smoke
right. So smoke offering is Thursday at Darlene Solomon's. If you need the address, please contact info@whitelotusdharma.org. Bring juniper if you have some, and bring lunch to pass. It's going to be a potluck after the smoke offering. But we have a special actual Tibetan tent for the Lama, Lamas, this year. So I don't know if you arranged with someone, and Charlie was
allowing with the tent.
sorry, but we didn't get it. We don't have other tents, so if it's really a hot day, bring your umbrellas or whatever, and your bathing suits, because there's access to the beach down along the staircase. So, you can come and swim after lunch or before lunch or whatever. And it's a beautiful spot. It's always been a lot of fun, but it's hot. So be prepared. Yeah. And Kenshin will be there. Then we'll get a day off on Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday are the teachings, and all the information, including registration information, is on the website at www.lotusdharma.org. Okay, so
Thank you.
One thing, if you scan, if you see the White Lotus page on Facebook, and you really can be able to share it, you must share. So only 1 week, right? Really, that's something meaning. Thank you very much.